Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Arlington 60 Plus Connection. I'm Christine Shaw, Executive Director of the Council on Aging here in Arlington. We're so happy to record this next episode, and after a little summer hiatus, we hope that you have had some time to rejuvenate and get outside these past summer months. It is hard to believe that September is right around the corner. When you're watching this, we could be well into September and the fall season. Really, these days, we don't know what is going to be coming around the corner next. So, we at the Council on Aging have been taking things day by day. We are well into the renovation process of our new senior center. 27 Maple Street is pretty much unrecognizable on the inside from what it used to be. Still very much under construction, but we are hoping to reopen this fall to show all of you the beautiful new center that has been promised. Every day we walk into the building and a little bit more has been done. We are really excited to show you all of the new exciting space that the center will have to offer. So with that on the horizon, we have still been very busy with programs and services. We have continued all of our outdoor and virtual programming through these summer months, and we're going to be continuing those straight through until we can reopen here and have everybody indoors in the building again. This past summer, we have had some great programming outside on Robbins Gardens, and later when we look ahead to what's coming up, we'll highlight some of the things that you can join us at Robbins Gardens. We also have been continuing the virtual world. As you can see today, we are recording this back in our offices. So we are remaining flexible and giving people the opportunity to join in with our exercise classes, some of our groups, and our singing classes virtually. And we will continue that as long as we need to so that people have a safe way to stay engaged and stay involved with the Council on Aging. With that said, this episode, we have a great special guest. I'm excited to have her here. I am proud to introduce our geriatric nurse clinician here at the Council on Aging, Joanne Sliney. She is here with us for this episode. Many of you probably know Joanne. She is a friendly face and a friendly voice over the phone when you call here at the Council on Aging for anything medical related. Since COVID, she's taken on a lot of new work that none of us ever thought we'd be knee deep in here. But welcome to the show, Joanne. We're excited to have you.
Thank you. Thanks. Excited to be here.
Wonderful. For those of the viewers who haven't met you before, can you just start off, tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe a little bit about what you did before you joined us here at the Arlington Council on Aging?
Okay, well, I started here at the Council on Aging just over 2 years ago. Before that, I worked at Emerson Hospital in Concord for about 5 years, working in their recovery room. And most of my career was at Leahy Clinic, working cardiac, thoracic, and recovery room. And now I'm here at the Council on Aging, and it's a wonderful change.
That's great. That's great. And we hear, people every day call us and they say, Joanne was so helpful. Joanne answered my questions because, as you can tell by what she just said, she has the experience that's really valuable to a lot of people that call our office and have questions. So we're very lucky to have Joanne. So Joanne, here at the Council on Aging, your job is probably pretty different than it was when you worked in the hospitals. And you help us out with a lot of different programs and activities. What are some of the programs that you work on here that you would want viewers to know about?
Well, here at the Council on Aging, we have many programs. We have blood pressure clinics that I run in the senior buildings here in town. When the building opens up again, we'll start having people back in, and I run a clinic here once a week for blood pressures. I do have a Parkinson's group, which has been on hold since COVID, but we are starting that again in September. The Savoyan Fund, which is a fund to help folks out 60 plus with dental help. If you have any questions on that, give me a call. We also have some programs that I run online in collaboration with Lexington on memory, which hopefully we will do at least another session or two of that. Just kind of a program that helps people come up with strategies to help remember things. We also have been running programs for exercise. I'm with Shannon Murphy every week at the walking club. That has been quite successful. If you haven't joined us, please do. We're up at McClellan Park every Thursday morning around 9:30. It is a nice flat walking area, lots of benches around. So if you need to take a rest, nobody's in a competition. It's just a nice way to get out, see people, have some nice conversations.
That's
That's
great.
another, yeah.
So many different programs, and I just want to go back to some of those, but in the meantime I want to make sure our viewers know, if they want to find out more about these programs, the number that they should call. So viewers, if you would like to hear more about these programs, the walking club sounds lovely. I would encourage all of you to come. Just give our office a call. It's 781-316-3400. And you can talk to either Dana or Shannon or Joanne just about these different programs and what you need to do to sign up. So getting back to a little more, the walking program has been something kind of new that we launched this summer. It's been a huge success, and like Joanne said, a great way for people to get a little bit of cardiovascular exercise or maybe just some mental health relief in getting outside and seeing people, to have a chat and a walk. We would love for more people to join, and that's at McLennan Park, as Joanne said, which is one of the few places in town where parking isn't extremely limited. So it's been nice for people to be able to go park, or they can take our van, which is great. I just want to remind people we have a senior van service that runs all over Arlington. We'd be more than happy to take you to and from the walking club if you're interested. Joanne, the program you mentioned about memory, can you just talk a little bit more about the things people might learn in that class? That sounds really interesting.
So basically what happens is there's strategies to help you to remember things. Some are like looking at somebody and seeing something on their person or whatever to remind you of somebody. Like we had one guy in the group, he had very bushy eyebrows. So I remembered his name was Bob because he had bushy eyebrows.
Okay.
Just little ways to remember things that you don't normally, like, where did I put my keys? Putting them in the same place every day so that it's not a struggle to find them. It was a nice program it was a little difficult because it was virtual and we hadn't learned it virtual, but I think people got a lot out of it. And every week we learned another strategy to try to help us remember things.
Yep.
This program was really for just your average person, probably not a good program for somebody with cognitive issues, dementia, Alzheimer's, a little too aggravating, I think, for them at this point. But we had a great group. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And hopefully we'll be able to do it in person again once we're all able to do that again. So it sounds like a great program. The other thing that you mentioned that we always get so many calls about, and it's a really long running service that our nurse offers, is blood pressure clinics. We are able right now, Joanne is happy to take anybody's blood pressure who comes to the walking club every week. It's kind of just an added benefit of going there. But Joanne, if somebody was concerned or looking for a blood pressure check, what should they do?
Just give me a call in the office and I'll arrange for a time to come and meet you and check your blood pressure. If it's something that seems like it's a little off, maybe we can schedule a once a week visit just to make sure. I'll give you a card so that you can share that with your doctor. So if there's some medication adjustments that need to be done, we can do those.
Great. And I know once we're back in person again and reopened after construction, we will start up our regular weekly blood pressure clinic here at the center as well. So people can kind of mark their calendar for that too. I'm looking forward to that.
And I once in a while I'll get calls on medications. Um, people have a lot of medications. Sometimes they don't know why they're taking it or what they're taking. I can always go over the list with them, help them set it up so that they're taking them at the proper time. In September, I'll have two Boston College students that will be around to help out in any way. If you have your medications and you'd like to have somebody come and explain them to you, you want somebody to come and just kind of chat with you about some medical stuff, the students will be available for that. The two of that I have are ready to graduate in just a few months, so they should have some pretty good knowledge to share.
Oh, that's great. I know we can always use some help. So we get lots of calls for Joanne, and it's only so many hours in the day. So it'll be great to have the interns to help you. That'll be fantastic. And now, everybody in the office really switched gears once the pandemic hit, and we all had to deal with what happened with COVID-19, and especially our board of health and our medical related staff, such as Joanne, really had to change gears. Joanne, what were some of the things off the top of your head once the pandemic started and we knew this was going to be something impactful? How did your job change?
Well, very much so. Well, the Board of Health was not in a position to be able to handle the volume that we were seeing. So I was brought on to help with the tracing of the COVID, getting the information out to folks where, as far as isolating and quarantining. We did quite a few vaccination clinics, which I was part of as well.
Yeah.
A lot of outreach to people to get them vaccinated.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of in-home vaccinations, which,
certainly did.
if you are homebound and you need a vaccination, give us a call. We can work with you to get it to you.
Fantastic. Yeah. We hear all about contact tracing. Some people have probably been a part of the process that are watching, but what is the process? What happens when there's a COVID-19 positive person in Arlington?
So what happens is usually the local board of health is notified through a system that everybody here in Massachusetts uses. And once we've been notified, we call the person. We then do an interview of sorts of, where they may have been, what their symptoms are, where they may have been, in contact with somebody. Are they vaccinated? Do they need to get vaccinated? Who their contacts were that may have been in contact with them during the infectious period. Then you would go on to let those folks know that they have been in contact with somebody that was positive, and what their requirements for quarantining would be. Notifying schools, businesses, anyone that may have been in contact with somebody who's positive, just trying to keep that rate down.
Got it. It must be really, I would assume, at certain times when there was a lot of cases in Arlington, a huge web of people that you were connecting and calling and linking together. So that
Yes.
that process is quite amazing in itself, and we're grateful to you and everybody that's been doing contact tracing here in Arlington to try to assist with keeping the cases down. So thank you so much for that. I was lucky enough too to be someone just to help as a volunteer at the vaccine clinics that you were vaccinating at. Just curious, how, including the homebound vaccines, how many people do you think you possibly vaccinated? I think it was hundreds.
Oh yeah. I at one point I thought I heard something about 4,000, but I could be incorrect. Not at home. At home was probably close to 200.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
And we were very lucky to have you to do all of those in-home vaccinations because as our viewers probably know, if they were vaccinated, there's a 15-minute wait. There's a second dose of the shot, and now we're hearing about a booster dose. So there's a lot more that goes into a home visit for a vaccine than just popping in, giving someone a vaccine, and leaving. So
Right, right.
that said, you've been doing so much work for us lately. The town of Arlington is so lucky to have you. The over 60 crowd in town is especially lucky to have you. But thank you so much for all you've done, especially with COVID, on top of all your regular programs and services.
Thank you.
No problem. And when we move into our next segment, we'll talk about some of the upcoming events that are related to you and your job. So at this point of the show, typically we have Chris Angel, if you've been a frequent viewer, pop on and do our newsletter corner. Our monthly newsletter here at the Council on Aging is really the best way to hear and look and read about what is going on with the Council on Aging, but also town-wide for any activities for the over age 60 crowd. So since Chris is enjoying some time off, well deserved right now, Joanne is going to stick around for the newsletter corner portion of our show. We just went to print on the September newsletter. Here it is, printed in black and white because Chris is not here to print it in beautiful color. But if you're on our newsletter mailing list, it will be in your mailboxes very soon, or you can pick it up at our places around town, such as Stop and Shop or local banks, or if you live in an apartment building in town, it's likely going to be in your lobby per usual. So let's just go over some of the things happening in September 2021. Hard to believe we're thinking of fall and just the things that come with preparing for fall and the winter months ahead. One of the events that we celebrate here is National Senior Center Month. If we were open, we would have a luncheon and invite you all to it. But right now, due to the pandemic and construction, we clearly can't do that. So what we're going to do is on Thursday, September 23rd at 9 a.m., we're inviting everybody to join us at the Walking Club at McLennan Park. It's a beautiful park. People can spread out, be outside. We'll have some coffee and pastries, and we can just kind of celebrate together National Senior Center Month, because we don't want to let it slip away without acknowledging it and giving everybody a chance to celebrate. Joanne will be there. She's there every week, but she'll be offering blood pressure screenings if you would like. So come, it's a great time to come in person to meet Joanne, and many of our other staff will be there as well. So if you would like to come to that, we'd love to know so that we can have a head count. So you would just call our office as you would for any of these programs at 71316-3400. So that is one awesome option in September to get to see people outdoors. We also have another outdoor event that was rescheduled from August. We're calling it Come Meet the Animals. We have Animal World Experience founder Matt Gabriel coming with some really interesting animals. I believe they're mostly kind of reptiles like turtles and possibly a small alligator, little things like ferrets, or really cool things that you might not have seen in person. He'll talk about the animals and be able to kind of show them to you. This event is also outdoors in Robin's Garden. And Robin's Garden is the space right by the fountain in the center of town on Mass Ave. It's between the town hall and the library. It's a nice big grassy space. There's some parking spots available on Mass Ave or at the library. But we also are more than happy to take you on our van. So don't forget that. If you don't want to drive or you don't drive, just give us a call and we'll take you. So that Come Meet the Animals event is on our front page in the newsletter. You'll definitely see all of the details, and I hope you can join us for that. We started a couple weeks ago with a new virtual class, and this class is going to stay virtual. It's going to stay online over Zoom for the foreseeable future, and it's an exercise class specifically for people living with dementia and their caregivers to do together. We have a fantastic new instructor who her name's Maria Skinner, and she's a certified ageless grace instructor, really energetic, really upbeat. and is teaching every Friday morning on Zoom for people living with dementia and their caregivers to do together. If you're interested in hearing more about that, it is free to join thanks to a grant from the I'm Still Here Foundation. You would just need to call our office and register, and we'll get you all the information you need. And Joanne, we have something that's not COVID vaccine related, but it is vaccine related in September. What could that be for people who might not know?
Oh, yay, the flu clinics are back.
Yes, still going to
So,
get your flu shot.
so we do have them scheduled in our senior building starting in September. We also have a general one that is scheduled for anybody on September 30th from 10 to 12, and then from 5 to 7. And I believe that's at the town hall.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. So
it is still
flu shot.
Yep. It's important to get your flu vaccines again this year, and we're here to help you get it if you need it. You're welcome to go to your primary care or local pharmacy, whatever's convenient for you. But in case you need, like Joanne said, we'll have a senior flu clinic on September 30th at Town Hall. We are asking that you call to just let us know you're coming. And you'll call our main number at 781-316-3400 to let us know. And like Joanne said, if you live in a senior building around town, we have some clinics scheduled in those buildings as well. So you'll hear all about the dates and times and what you need to do for those coming up. So we have that is, a huge program we've done for many years, helping seniors in town get their flu vaccine.
And again, sorry, if you're a senior who needs an in-home flu vaccination, let us know. And I usually set up a few days that I'll go out and do a whole bunch, and just let us know and we'll get them for you.
Great. Yeah. Thank you so much for mentioning that. And we also typically do offer the high dose version of the flu vaccine. Many people are interested in that are over age 60. So we typically do offer that too. It just depends on the inventory that we get from the state. So make sure you don't forget about your flu vaccine this fall, in amongst all the other vaccine talk that is happening in our world. One final thing I wanted to mention that is mentioned in our newsletter, among a lot of other things that we don't even have time to get to today, is our volunteer medical escort program. Part of our transportation program that we have here through the Council on Aging is an opportunity for a volunteer to drive you to a medical appointment that requires someone to be there in person to drive you home. Many of you know that if you have a procedure or something done with anesthesia, you need a person to actually be there to check you out and drive you home. The hospital won't release you always to a cab or to drive home yourself. So we have some lovely volunteers who we arrange transportation with, and we are looking for more volunteers. We have kind of a core group that do a great job, but we're getting so many requests that we really need more volunteers. So maybe you know somebody that is a good driver and would be happy to take somebody over age 60 now and again to and from an appointment. But if people are interested, they can reach out to our office and ask for Michelle. She coordinates all of our volunteer responsibilities here at the Council on Aging. But if you or somebody you know drives and is able to talk to us about becoming a volunteer medical escort, we could really, really use the assistance. So we just wanted to start to get that word out there as well. So I think actually that is the highlights we have coming up in September. Did I miss anything, Joanne, that you wanted to go over?
I just wanted to add one thing that you'll see in the newsletter, the Retired Men's Club hosting their trips.
Yes.
Since they've been advertising here, they're filling up very quickly for these trips. People are having a great time. So if you're interested in them, you got to call ahead because they are filling up fast.
Great. Yeah, the Retired Men's Club is a wonderful partner of ours. They have their meetings that have started meeting up again in person, and they do some really fantastic trips. They've planned one trip a month through the end of the calendar year, maybe even into 2022. Some really fun things. So if you're interested in those, they're listed in our newsletter, and you can register with the Retired Men's Club directly. So thank you for bringing that up, Joanne. That's kind of a fun, different way to see different seasonal activities.
And I think because people have been so confined, that it's such a nice way to get out and see people and see some wonderful places that they go to. I haven't heard one complaint about their trips yet, so enjoy them.
It's exciting. Yeah, I did see the list, and they have some great things coming up. So thank you for mentioning that as well. So everybody, you will get our September newsletter in your mailbox very soon if you haven't gotten it already. If you would like to be added to our newsletter mailing list, please just call our office. We can do it, and you'll be on it by the next month. Otherwise, please feel free to pick one up at Stop and Shop, in the lobby of your apartment building, or in many of the different banks around town. That being said, I think this is a wrap for this episode of the Arlington 60 Plus Connection. Very, very grateful that Joanne Sliney was able to be here with us to talk about her role as our Council on Aging nurse, the extra effort she's played in the COVID-19 pandemic, and also as our guest newsletter corner expert. Thank you for filling in for Chris, Joanne. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And just remember, give me a call in the office if you have any medical questions. Nothing is a dumb question or a stupid question. Just give me a call.
Thank you. We appreciate it. So that said, I'm Christine Shaw, and I am here if you need to call and ask any questions about the Council on Aging. In the meantime, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode of the Arlington 60 Plus Connection, and we will see you soon. Thank you.